It is the theatrical event of the summer. It's hitting the courts and smashing ceilings down at Navy Pier. Lauren Gunderson's new play, Billie Jean, is an inspiring look at the legendary Billie Jean King. And joining us now is the actor portraying the icon, Chilina Kennedy. Chilina, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you for taking time out. I know you are in the midst of previews right now, and it's just, I'm like, oh, so thank you. How are previews going? You just started performances on Friday, right?
We literally just started. We did our second one yesterday, and we're about to do our third one today. Today's a matinee. So, we're fast and furious. Here we go. Shot out of a cannon.
I know.
Yeah, well, one of my Facebook friends already said it's fantastic. So there you go, right out of the box.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, yeah, we really appreciate it. I mean, the audiences here are amazing. They're so smart. I mean, they're so generous. And so it's really great to be previewing this show here in Chicago. It's really great.
Yeah, we're really good. We're a really good theater town here, and very
truly.
We are savvy audiences here. So with the play by Lauren Gunderson, Billie Jean, how comprehensive of a look into Billie Jean's life is it? Like, is it a certain time period, or what is this like bringing this to the stage?
Yeah, it's pretty comprehensive. It really goes. I mean, we have a young Billie Jean who plays the role from 11 to 16, and she's sort of in the first 15 pages of the show. And then I take over, and I play Billie Jean from 18 basically till today.
Oh, wow.
And so it's a really big look at her life. And, the amazing thing that Lauren has done, and Mark has been brilliant in his direction, is the first act is how she fights for everybody else and all the causes she believes in. And the second act is really her becoming the tennis ball and fighting for herself. And so it's a very personal deep dive into her life.
I'm so excited about this. Because that she used to live in Chicago for a little bit.
Yeah.
And years ago, I would wait on her because she would come into my restaurant, and I would just sit and wait. And I said hi, and I didn't want to say anything to her because she's Billie Jean King. But I was like, she's iconic. How did you prepare for taking on this role of Billie Jean King?
Well, it's funny because I've done this before with Carole King on Broadway, and I've done it before with another role, Carol Pope. And so the wonderful thing is I've had a bit of a go at it, and and I've been working on the role of Billie Jean for such a long time, for a couple of years now, and tons of workshops, and I've had a chance to get to know her personally. And so, she's an icon, but she's just as generous and just as amazing as everybody hopes that she would be. Like, she's very generous with her time. I've spent hours with her over Zoom and in person, and she's taught me some tennis.
Okay.
And so, that's really helpful. But it's even more informative to go back and look at old videos, old interviews of her, old matches, and then you really get a chance to see her body language and her mannerisms. And that's really where I find my golden sort of keys into who she is.
So are you one of those folks? I mean, they're like, I want to see how the sausage is made right now. I love talking to actors just because it's like some folks work, like I like to work from the outside in, like I like to get a physicality and then find the inner life, and some people like to find the inner life and work their way out. Like, what has been the key of you unlocking Billie Jean, or your interpretation of Billie Jean?
Well, I think it's interesting that you said that, because I think it's a bit of both. For her inner life, there's certain things that I picked up from interviews. Like, I think she's one way, and I've talked to her about this as well. There's one public version of Billie Jean that we see in interviews, and especially in the 60s, 70s. I mean, it was back in a time that I think a lot of, especially the younger generation don't realize, is that people were so forced into these gender roles. So there's a very particular way that I think she had to be in public, and her mom always said, be a lady. And then there was a way that she was in private with her friends and her colleagues and stuff. And so I think finding ways into both of those areas of her life are important. And also the outside in is important, to see her physicality on the court. And that also informs the inside, right? Like, they both inform each other. Yeah.
Oh, man. Go ahead. Sorry.
I love the idea of like, no. I love the idea like of, I always think like on the rainbow of personality, if Billie Jean is a blue and I'm a yellow, like my version of Billie Jean is going to be somewhere in between. Like on certain nights it's going to be green. Sometimes hopefully it's closer to blue. But you know,
Right. Oh, I love
it
that.
has to kind of like live organically through you, right?
Yeah.
So you've done Carole King, you've done now Billie Jean. You know, you're portraying living legends. Does it change your approach to the role when you're portraying people that you can still talk to and can see the show?
Yes, absolutely. And there's a huge pressure that comes with it because she is an icon and she's a huge role model for so many people. I mean, millions of people. And people know her tennis style very well, very intimately, and they know her, I think, as well. Like you sort of know who Billie Jean is. I think everyone can sort of give some kind of thought about who she is. And so I want to live up to that, and I want to honor her as best I can without doing a Saturday Night Live version of her.
Right.
But like,
Yeah.
allowing her to be real, right? So
Yeah.
it's tricky. It's a real process, but I love it. It's my favorite thing to do.
So you're obviously good at it because you got rave reviews when you did Beautiful, from what I read, and I'm sure the same is going to be true here. I have no doubt. I was there anything about Billie Jean that surprised you, that you learned that maybe you had no idea about?
Well, I mean, so much was a surprise, truthfully. I mean, I guess I'm always amazed at people's generosity. Like when she's at that level with the amount of demands on her time, the fact that she is so forthcoming and willing to sit down and hang out and to share whatever, you know, and to answer all my questions, I just think is incredible. And the more I get to know her, the more that is true. And she did an amazing thing. Like I had tickets. Okay, so I was never a tennis fan before this show, but now I'm a huge tennis fan.
Cool.
And so I went to my very first tennis match, and it happened to be the U.S. Open. I had tickets to the U.S. Open, and I texted Billie Jean and Alana, and I said, you know, hey, I'm going to the U.S. Open. And they said, oh, what match are you seeing? And I told them. And they said, no, come to our box and watch Coco and Djokovic. And so I did. And that was my very first tennis match ever. And watching them win. And I was there till 2:30 in the morning. And it was like the best night of my life.
Oh, that's a great story.
Oh, my gosh. That is
fantastic.
amazing.
I know, right?
And
what a way to be introduced to tennis. Like, that was my first tennis match ever.
That is a
man.
perfect way to be
That is setting the
introduced.
bar really
Start big.
high.
Why not?
No kidding.
Wow. So, okay. So I would love, I'm so excited. This is, you know, we're seeing it for the first time here in Chicago. And I wanted to, like, what was the rehearsal process like? I'm assuming, because, like, you know, my brain is just like, what's going on? How are they going to do this? Because, you know, it's Billie Jean King. There's got to be tennis. You got to have tennis on stage.
Yeah,
Is there tennis on stage? Like, what has this rehearsal process been like? It seems like it's going to be a demanding role.
It is a demanding role, and I'm so excited to share this. And I hope that I'm not spoiling anything for anybody.
It's a
who comes to see
teaser.
the
It's
show.
good. Yeah.
It's a teaser, yeah. And so, like, there is tennis on stage, but it's not literal. And this is what I love about Steph Paul's brilliant movement. She's our movement and choreography expert, and she also plays tennis. So it's really helpful to have somebody who's doing the movement, who understands tennis. She gets the physicality of it. But the wonderful thing is, and the crazy thing is, we don't have rackets or balls. So our bodies are the extension of the racket. And so you'll see when you come, to the show that there are matches in the show, but they're very artfully portrayed, and it uses movement and tennis together. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to ruin it.
Right, no,
I just want to say, be surprised.
Yes, but I mean, it sounds like things that can only be done in a theater, where you have that sort of, like you were saying, it's basically choreography, and you're using your body and the audience's suspension of disbelief that this is actually happening. And that's what I'm so excited about this thing. Was, Lauren Gunderson, she is like the most produced playwright in our country right now. Was she a part of this rehearsal process? Because I know, how long have you been attached to this play?
Well, it's been a couple years now, and she has been very involved in the rehearsal process. And, I always feel so lucky when I get to build something like this from scratch, because it's not very often that you get the playwright and everybody in the room. And Billie Jean, Billie Jean and Alana have been involved as well, and they've come and watched run-throughs, and they give feedback as well. And to be able to create something like that, and to be able to be on the receiving end of, notes and changes like day to day in real time, and be able to have those conversations and be able to shape your character and how the story is being told is like, I feel so lucky.
Right?
It's just amazing.
I mean, it really is. It's such a gift to an actor. I think I love working on new projects and new works because you're actually creating this with a team, and that's one thing that I don't think the audiences really understand. Like, previews are a gigantic learning tool for the people on stage, the people backstage, the people, the creators sitting out in the audience. It really is like a moment to see like what works, what doesn't work, and there are changes that are happening. They can be happening with every show, so it's just it just kind of keeps you on your toes, and it's so exciting.
Well, and I want to say too, for like anyone who's listening right now, like I think that there's a wonderful opportunity for audiences to go to a preview and then come after opening night, because you're going to see two very different shows, and you get to be a part as the audience. It's a very important role because we're learning so much from these first audiences. They're teaching us like where the laughs are, what's working, what's not, and we're really using that feedback, and it's helping to shape the show. And it's really exciting.
It's so exciting.
Chicago
I'm such a
audiences.
nerd.
That's why people come here. So,
they're amazing. I know it's my fourth show in Chicago, and let me tell you, I love this place. I just love the city. I love the theater crowd. It's just amazing.
There's a reason that we are known for, a great place for people to get shows off the ground. The preview, first shows are often here for Broadway shows, and who knows, maybe this one will be a Broadway show too, huh? You never know.
Fingers crossed. We're hoping. We're all hoping.
They're on a roll there at Chicago Shakes. We know Billie Jean. She definitely has changed the world through activism, through her sport. Has this role shifted your opinion at all, or what you think about your own platform, like as an artist?
Oh boy, I think it hasn't changed it, but it has solidified what I was already experiencing. I think the word that comes to mind for me is integrity. I think just being authentically yourself and not being afraid to be that in the world. And whether that's on social media or whether that's just in the way that you shake someone's hand or the way that you have a conversation with somebody or the way you show up for a person on the street or in the room, let's just all hopefully come to a time in the world where we can all be ourselves, truly ourselves.
Amen.
That's what I've learned.
Amen to that.
And go ahead.
I was just going to ask. Well, finish your thought.
It's going to be and standing up for what you believe in.
Yes.
I mean, there's, as you said, like in the 60s and 70s, the gender roles were very prescribed. And women couldn't even have a credit card without having a husband. There was all this maddening
Not that
stuff.
many years ago.
Billie Jean was the first one to get a credit card without her husband's approval. She got an American Express card. Yeah, it's a thing in the show. It's incredible.
Oh my! See,
there we are. There.
I just have to ask you about your name. Is it? It's an unusual name. Is it shortened for like Michaelina or something? Or how did you? It's just a beautiful name.
Oh, thank you very much. No, my mom loved it. She read it in a book when she was younger. And it's also my great-grandmother was named Selena. So Chilina and Selena were similar. And so they loved it. Yeah, my parents loved it.
I knew there was a story there because it's a beautiful and unusual name. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you. And I always say it's Chilina like Chicago. So that's always fun.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you always got a home here in Chicago, Chilina. So when folks do make their way down to Navy Pier to go to Chicago Shakespeare Theater to see Billie Jean, again, there's so many things. She broke so many barriers. She was such as you said, a force of integrity, standing up for what she believed in, getting equal pay for women in sports. I also love the fact that like tennis is being sponsored by Virginia Slims. It's like great, how wonderful. Go hit those balls and smoke your cigarettes. But what do you hope audiences take away when they do go see Billie Jean?
Okay, well, this is the one thing that I wanted to say, because what Billie Jean does so well is she's very good at bridging the gap, right? Bridging the divide. She is such a warm person, and she, in a world that is so divided right now, I feel like we need spirits like Billie Jean to go, hey, you know what? I'm gonna soften. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna try to reach over this divide and bring people closer together. And so I feel that's important, and I hope that people, listen, you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, but I hope that you feel inspired when you leave the theater.
Nice.
Well, I am sure we are.
Yes. Can't wait to see it Thursday night. I will be there. Rooting you on,
Yay.
cheering you
Yeah,
on.
I know. So everybody grab your tennis whites and head on down to Navy Pier to go see Billie Jean by Lauren Gunderson. It runs through August 10th at the Chicago Shakespeare Theater. For tickets, go to chicagoshakes.com. Chilina Kennedy, thank you again. I know you are in previews. Hopefully you get the day off tomorrow so you can sit and do nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Can't wait for that.
I bet. So we really appreciate you taking time out today to join us and break legs.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you.